Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Symphogear. Today we're gonna be watching episode 7. And it is yet again very hard to make predictions what's gonna happen. Uh, this series completely eludes my predictions, at least short-term predictions. I'm not sure how well are my long-term predictions and theories going. That will, uh, appear in time. We're gonna learn about it as the series progresses. But as far as my short-term predictions go, uh, they are somewhat accurate, I like to think, but not always time accurate. I really thought that the whole drama between Hibiki and Miku is gonna last a lot longer, that they're gonna have to keep the secret a lot longer. I have no doubt that there will be still drama about it because you learning that your best friend, quote unquote, is essentially a superhero who every day puts herself in danger can't be easy. So I can plainly see that there will be some conflict between Hibiki and Miku there, but it won't be the kind of conflict that was caused by the lack of communication, by secrets, right? Cat's out of the bag. Now we gotta deal with the consequences of it, and I much prefer it, to be perfectly honest with you. I much prefer interpersonal drama where it actually stems from interpersonal relations and not from hiding secrets or misunderstandings or stuff like that, right? Two clashing worldviews, two clashing personalities, um, that kind of stuff, right? Hibiki's feeling of having to protect everybody, right? Her feeling of having to be the hero who saves everyone, clashing with Miku's feeling of wanting to protect Hibiki so that she doesn't come to harm, right? Those two things clashing with each other, I am all for it. I am really, really glad that they didn't completely, stretch it out. Once Miku noticed that Hibiki is with Tachibana and they're laughing together, while she promised Miku that they're gonna get some okonomiyaki, I was almost, grabbing my head thinking, what the fuck are they gonna do now? Is this gonna turn into a rom-com? But no, thankfully they proved me wrong, and the interpersonal drama will actually stem from interpersonal drama and their relations and their relationships. So I will gladly see that. I will gladly watch that. What else? An enemy attacked Chris. I'm assuming I have a list of characters there, and Chris looks the most like her. The Nehushtan girl attacked again because she's jealous about Hibiki. That is plain to see, I think. She wants all the attention from her Domimomi, and Domimomi is clearly very interested in Hibiki instead. Hibiki, of course, wanted to talk her down, the good girl she is, but the problem is you cannot always talk down another person. Sometimes you have to first knock them unconscious, tie them up, and then give them a sermon. That's the only way you can actually talk to them. Maybe even gag them, if necessary. Sometimes the only solution to violence is more violence. And then after the violence has been solved, or at least stopped for a moment, then you can try to talk people into not being violent. There's a saying, right? If you want peace, prepare for war. That's essentially what's going on here. I'm curious how the fight is gonna go. Is maybe Miku gonna be caught in the crossfire? We notice that she is not far from where the fight is taking place. So that will be interesting to see. Will will Hibiki eventually summon Gungnir? Will she scream its name to high heaven so it appears in her hand? I don't know. On one hand, it'd be kinda cool. On the other hand, I kinda want her to stay a brawler. I mean, she clearly can hold her ground against Chris. She just grabs the Nehustan and just grabs the tendril and doesn't let go. She punches the armor and the armor fucking cracks. Hibiki doesn't need a weapon, Hibiki is a weapon. And she's not even in her psycho mode, mind you. She's not even in her psycho mode. If she went psycho mode, she'd fucking bite the throat of her enemy and punch her in the chest, and there'd be a shot of the back of her, the back of her back, the back of her torso, and Hibiki's hand with her beating heart in it. So I'm glad that Hibiki didn't go full psycho mode yet. Maybe she will. Maybe that will cause further rift between her and Miku. Maybe not. Who knows? The only way to figure it out is to watch the episode. So that's what we should do. That's what we should do. Thank you, OBS. Thank you for listening to me. I got my headphones. You get your subtitles. Let me double check that it is indeed episode 7. Symphogear Season 1, Episode 7. Subs by D-Track, version by AGVC, whatever. You know the drill. I talked all about it in Episode 1. If you're somehow watching Episode 7 without having seen Episode 1, why? Maybe tell me in the comments or on my Discord why? Why are you watching Episode 7 without watching Episode 1? Because that's kinda curious, not gonna lie. But I trust that you know which subs I'm using, which version I'm using, and all that. So let's not prolong it any further. Let's start episode 7 of Symphogear with subs by D-Track in 3, 2, 1, go. Starting in medias res. Yeah, she's clearly worried about her girlfriend. About her wife, sorry. And that's just some Earl Grey with a slice of lemon. Probably my favorite tea, if I'm to be honest with you. Maybe a little too much lemon, it's kind of bitter. But tea tends to be bitter, so... I still can't get over her gigantic head. I know that anime art style has its rights, but... It's like those 18th century dresses that had a whole scaffolding with steel and wood and whatnot inside to keep the shape. I'm imagining that she has like steel wire scaffolding on her head and her hair is just wrapped around it. Or she's just a galaxy brain. I mean, that's also possible. Maybe an alien hybrid. Who knows? Wouldn't surprise me that much. Probably not. Let's just call it my crack theory. Okay, let's go. Toward the fate that never stops assailing us. Ooh, a new song? A new song? But Nehustan can regenerate. Okay, Chris. So, I was correct. It ain't gonna be that easy. I mean, Chris kinda sorta seems to be on the side of the noise. right? She can summon the noise. What lies, though? Okay, now Stan is slowly regenerating. Oh, okay, so she can break her armor into a bunch of needle things. Chris's song? Itchy ball? Well, if you have itchy balls, you should scratch them. Itchy ball. Second relic. Wouldn't that be like third? The armor, the staff, and now the itchy balls? Okay, you will definitely become our friend sooner or later. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. 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 Ooh. That's a nice bit of animation. I like Chris. Why use lance? Why use a sword? I have fucking quad miniguns. Tsubasa? Tsubasa. It's a big ass sword. Okay, yeah. You probably shouldn't be singing your suicide song again. Okay. Okay, we're building a team. That's nice. Nothing personal, kid. Because now she has friendship on her side. Yeah, your fire isn't all that raging and unthinking anymore. Noise? Why is Noise attacking Chris, though? It's like completely unaffiliated couple of monsters. Oh, she's already blushing. Humst. Domi Mommy. With the staff that can control the noise. Extinguish the flames of war. What are you on about? Ooh, rejected. She recalling Nehustan? Beyblade, Beyblade, let it rip. Okay, is Ryoko in the headquarters? Is she here? I don't see Ryoko anywhere. Hmm. Okay, they have Miku. Find your own reason. Stuff? Yeah. Extremely simple. Start by going to grab some okonomiyaki with the gang. How about that? With Hibiki and Miku. She's built like a tank. We're gonna wipe her memory. It's gonna be cool. True, if the enemy also has access to the relics. Okay, we have a team. Yep, friends. With your wife. Exactly. Your nipples are erect. uh, you're becoming part Symphogear. That's gonna be awkward. Cold. Is she gonna sleep in her own bed now? I mean, she was legally obliged to keep it a secret. It's one thing to keep a secret, like, I have a boyfriend or something. It's a different thing when it's the matter of national security. Okay, so it's some misguided thinking. If I kill everybody who's capable of fight, then there will be no fighting. That's, not gonna lie, that's incredibly stupid. But whatever. Let's roll with it. Yeah, he clearly explained that. Of course she's a good girl. She's just misguided. What was that you said about hating to sing? Could you repeat what you said? Because it seems to me like you're having fun humming this song. She does, she's just a huge tsundere about it. Hmm. Oh, well, that part can be checked off. So now comes the making up part. Is Chris gonna enroll in their school now? As a transfer student? Oh, give her a day or two and she's gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. Hibiki. I knew she's special. Yep. 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 Ooh. Oh, creepy. Oh no. Is that Hibiki right now? Custodians? Lulu Amel? Okay, well, that was an info dump. I mean, at least she's honest. No. Ah, silent treatment, even worse. She fights evil. What else? You could say that. uh, Not if the school itself is an accomplice. She really doesn't like secrets. It's not your fault. You couldn't have possibly told her about it. Yeah, but for a good reason. You weren't hiding the fact that you ate her pudding. You're like legally obliged. Ooh, that's a big hit. Oh, that's bad. But I still have the feeling that she's overreacting massively. I mean, it's not your fault, Hibiki. It's, at least in my eyes, it's entirely on Miku to overreact this much. Go through this episode again is gonna be interesting. There's some nice details that we got here. I just noticed that's Chris, isn't it? That's Chris walking in the corner. Those visuals of those broken dolls are still. They still seem like they will be relevant sooner or later. Oh, after credits. Uh. Yes! Exactly! You shouldn't have come here, Chris. Why are her hands glowing? Oh, she wears the Kadingir. I thought it was the Nehushtan? Apparently not. It looks like Nehushtan. Did she, like, make her own relic? Or modify the Nehushtan or something like that? Yeah, that definitely looks like Nehushtan. Well, Chris, you no longer have a choice. You have to join us now. Okay, let's go through this episode again. As always, full screen, please. And let's roll. OP, OP, OP. Oh no, that's no longer the OP. Or, yeah. And the OP is done around here. Okay, we are fighting. Nehushtan's regenerating. Hibiki still doesn't want to fight, and she just starts to lose. Well, maybe not lose, but Chris manages to take her on much easier. I'll show you the power of itchy balls. A little bit of an impact frame, and itchy balls suddenly gain their power. And let me take a closer look at the... Come on. At their place. I don't see Ryoka anywhere. I'm still suspicious of her. Especially after her behaving like a stalker. That's some nice animation during this fight. And some of it is even done on ones, which is interesting. Most of the character animation here is done on twos, but some bits are on ones. Okay. Well, that's gonna be screen capped. And that's gonna be turned into an emote. An emote on my Discord server. Yep, definitely. That's some really nice animation here, especially after Tsubasa arrives. And Riz doesn't fuck around. She doesn't play around with melee weapons, she just uses rocket launchers and quadruple miniguns. She really doesn't fuck around. I kind of understand her sentiment in that her powers only destroy. You can't really create with miniguns, you can't really create with rockets, but does any other Symphogear create? Tsubasa's Symphogear, the giant sword, it is made to destroy. Maybe protect if she summons like a huge one and treats it like a shield, but it is a tool of destruction, it is a tool of war. Hibiki's Gungnir, once she manages to eventually summon it, is also made specifically to kill, to destroy. Even without Gungnir, her power is all about destruction. Her punches, when she goes sicko mode and rips the spines out of the noise, right? Rips and tears. It is all about destruction. Nehushtan is also a Symphogear whose goal is to destroy with those tendrils. It can regenerate itself, sure, but ultimately any and all Symphogear is a tool of war, is a tool of destruction. Maybe besides the staff, it can create noise, so I guess you could call it a tool of creation. But Chris being so hung up on the fact that her powers only destroy seems very misguided. Symphogear were made to destroy. Like that's just how it is. No matter what Symphogear is it was built to destroy. I still see no Ryoko anywhere. Also, I love that little palm tree in the middle there. It's so surreal almost. A tea set and a palm tree in the control room. I love it. I need your help. We are finally building the team. We are finally building connection between Tsubasa and Hibiki. Tsubasa all this time was a loner who believed that she can do everything herself, and Hibiki shouldn't even bother. Tsubasa, I am the sword, I will destroy the noise, I will carry the torch and whatnot. Now, she finally starts to understand that they are a team. And I like it. Character development. Character development, people. Yeah, there's some nice fight animation. I like how the miniguns actually spin. That's a, very small thing, but they aren't just blurred. They weren't made circular and just blurred so that they don't have to animate them, just blur them. They are triangular and they actually spin. There's a lot of care put into that. Even though we don't see those miniguns that long on the screen, it's just, a couple of frames. Just a couple of frames of spinning, and yet they animated it fully. Nice animation on once. Yep, everything on once to create much more fluidity. Smears. Yeah, they know how to do good animation. I'm not gonna get too hung up on it, but it's worth mentioning. And suddenly, the noise. And it cracks. It cracks the miniguns. Both of them. Because she's no longer needed. Okay, we don't need there. Let me reread all that. I can extinguish the flames of war on my own. Then the curse of humanity will be broken, and the world will be reunited as one. Sai, I have no business with you anymore. Because now her eyes are set firmly on Hibiki. I'm assuming. Her hand is glowing. I have no clue what that's all about. Why her hand is glowing. But that ties into Ryoko more. Because I don't remember if in the episode where Ryoko cast that shield to protect Hibiki, was her energy also blue? Was her hand also glowing? I can't remember. I would have to go back to that episode and double check that. Yeah, with each episode, I'm led to believe more and more that Ryoko and Fine are the same person. Either the same person or some doppelganger kind of deal, or maybe a twin sister or something, but I think they are the same person. Of course, Tsubasa is in a crisis. She was able to cope with life and with surviving because she was thinking of herself as a weapon, as an object, I don't need to feel. I don't need to think. I am just a weapon. Now Hibiki pulled her out of that slump. But now that it happened, Tsubasa needs to find something to fight for. She needs to find something else to live for. She's no longer an emotionless and thoughtless war machine. She now became more of a person. She's a real boy now, like Pinocchio, right? And now she needs to find her own reason to live and her own reason to fight, the way Hibiki found it. Advantage that the relics gave us is gone for good now. Uh, Kinda. I mean, so far, it's two Symphogear users versus two Symphogear users. So it's kind of even. True, that means you have no advantage now, but you're still not like overwhelmingly in the negative. If you find just one more person who might be attuned, you have a relic stored at your disposal, the sword, the Durandal, I think it was called. So you could technically create at least one more Valkyrie, so it's not a lost situation. Now, that makes me think. The school is fairly sizable. There must be a lot of students there. How rare are attuned people? Because in such a huge school, I'm assuming there would be more than one person who's attuned, and I'm assuming they're doing some sort of screening, otherwise, they wouldn't have that school built. That school was created for the explicit goal, with the explicit goal of finding more attuned to make them fight the noise. So I'm assuming during, I don't know, yearly checkup, they use some device. They tell the student that, oh, it's to measure your blood oxygen, but it really measures the level of attunement or something. Is being attuned really this rare? I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, both of them are in perfect health. There's no doubt she has what it takes to be one, but her approach doesn't realize it. I think I can be of some help, some use supporting her. Yep, we are a fully fledged team now. And of course, Ryoko couldn't help herself from poking her in the boob. Tsubasa is suspicious, and that's interesting. That's interesting that Hibiki fuses with the Symphogear. Is she like the very first case of that happening? Interesting. Could it lead to them eventually finding a way to implant shards of other relics into people? Because that would be interesting, right? Like, have a single relic, have, say, Durandal stored somewhere. You find someone attuned, you break off a piece of the Durandal, and you implant it in that attuned. And now they can use Durandal, and now, like, 50 people can use Durandal. And they are stronger physically and have innate regeneration and all that because they are now fused with the relic. I wonder if that's gonna become a plot point at one point. The glow, the glow of Fine's hand. Could it be that she implanted the relic inside of her? Kind of like people do the thing where they implant a tiny little magnet in their finger to be able to feel magnetic fields. She just implanted a bit of a relic. Could be. And yeah, of course, Miku is giving her a cold shoulder. I still think that Miku is overreacting, like, severely. She really is severely overreacting. Uh, as I mentioned before, it's one thing to hide secrets like "I ate your pudding" or "I have a job now and I'm working there to buy you something nice," or I don't know, the usual like life secrets that you might have from your friends, from your family. I can understand her being upset over that, but she should be able to understand that it is much more than that. It's not a tiny little small secret that Hibiki was hiding. It was a matter of national security. It was a matter of world security, essentially, because it's kept secret even from the rest of the world. It's kept secret from absolutely everyone. So Miku really should be more understanding of it. She's really acting irrational here. Uh, I'm. I can kind of see her doing that and acting this way for the first like day because it's some heavy news, right? And she doesn't want to see Hibiki quite yet. She doesn't want to deal with that. She needs to process it all. She needs to come to the understanding. She needs to work through her emotions and all that, right? I can understand that, absolutely. But the fact that later she just walks up to Hibiki and says we shouldn't be friends anymore, or what is that she said? I can't be your friend anymore? That's a severe overreaction. I I didn't expect something like that from Miku, to be honest with you. She always struck me as someone very forgiving. I mean, the very first time Hibiki missed the star viewing, the viewing of the falling stars, Miku just kinda got over it eventually. There was that moment at the end of that episode, sure, but she seems to have been very understanding of it, right? But suddenly, now that she actually has a good and proper explanation, she's not so understanding. It's very weird. Of course, Chris is a good girl. Of course, she likes to sing. But she doesn't like singing her own song because it does nothing but destroy. Well, it can also protect through destruction. If it's used to destroy the noise and protect the humans, it doesn't destroy. It doesn't only destroy, it also protects. But she needs to come to understand it by herself. Yeah, we fight and then we make up. So, Chris, you need to make up with Hibiki. Especially now that she needs a new wife because she lost her previous one. Okay, now we get some insight into how Symphogear works against the noise. And that was kind of spoiled for me. Someone told me in the comments or on my Discord, I can't remember where, that Symphogear essentially create like a field where the noise gets back into phase with real world, and that's why Symphogear users can attack the noise. And now it's explained, so I'm guessing it's not too much of a spoiler, but still. They increase the physical capabilities of the user. Well, that much is clear. They apply barrier coating to the skin. Yeah, which prevents disintegration on touch by the noise. And also, they tune the otherworldly frequencies of the noise using the unique vibrations caused on impact. Thus making them subject to the laws of nature of this world. So I assume it's not quite a field around the Symphogear, but rather the Symphogear vibrates at such a frequency that when it makes contact with noise, it briefly makes that noise get back in phase with real world. It's kind of like, vibrating supersonic blade that can cut the noise because the frequencies match or it changes the frequency of the noise or whatever. So it's not quite a field around Symphogear wielders. Eliminated protection conferred by the phase difference. Yep. So the mostly significant abilities of the Symphogear. But yeah, it has an impact on people's health, which is interesting because we don't. I guess we do see a little of it, right? Hibiki was exhausted after her fight. Okay, yeah, I can see that. And yeah, the ultimate form of it is the suicide song. The butterfly. I think the butterfly on her mug is actually identical with the butterfly that Hine, the Domimomi, has. I can't remember, was it on her hat or on her choker? Somewhere on her. She had a butterfly. And I made a comparison to the butterfly in Ryoko's hair, on Ryoko's hairpin, but it was different. But I have a feeling it might be the same as the butterfly on her mug. We see Fine later, so I need to remember to take note of that. The only one who could possibly overcome these limitations is Hibiki. Fusion between human and relic. Hibiki is very much special. Where was the shot of her creepy room covered in Hibiki pictures? Yeah, I think it was a bit later. And yeah, the funny game produced by the entire audience was able to activate Nehushtan, but Hibiki was able to activate Durandal by her own, completely on her own. Just her song alone was able to activate Durandal. That's what I noticed before as well. So Hibiki being special stems from the fact that she is a fusion with a relic, and those vines, those thorny vines. When Hibiki initially transformed, initially henshined, there was a bit of a visual of vines creeping around her body, around her blood vessels and whatnot. I thought it was mostly visual, like a representation of it. Maybe something that happens when she henshins, but no, it seems like it's completely fused with her in the shape, in the form of those thorns. Hmm. Hmm. Perhaps, perhaps that's why when Hibiki henshin for the first time, all those pipes and cables and whatnot sprouted out of her back, because the relic was actually placed inside of her. From what we see, usually the relic is outside, either wielded in a hand or takes the form of a pendant or something like that. In case of Hibiki, it's within her. So it had to get out, like physically through her body. Hmm. Yeah, this little scene explains a lot. And what is that? What is that? Yeah, utilize the full potential of the relics. Uh, we would have proof of a release from the custodian's curse. I'm guessing custodians are like deities? Some form of higher beings who are limiting humanity somehow? Are the noise the creatures sent here by custodians to stop humanity from progressing too far? Something along those lines, kind of like Mass Effect Reapers, but a constant threat? Yeah, which has held us in its grip since time untold. Are we talking like intelligent design here? Where was humanity created by the custodians? We'll be able to speak with each other using words of truth. And an age where the Lulu Amel could be the masters of their own fate would dawn. Lulu Amel. Lulu Amel. That sounds very Sumerian or Babylonian. Lulu Amel. If I see like Symphogear wiki or something, then I'm not gonna click it. But yes, Sumerian dictionary. Sumerian dictionary. Okay. You get me interested. Okay. Control F. Lulu Amel. Worker. Mixtured worker. I get it. I think I get it. I think I get it. The custodians are some sort of deities, some sort of higher beings. They created humanity as a cheap labor, essentially, as workers to build the pyramids, as markers for them to land, something along those lines. Humanity has been all this time the workers of custodians, and custodians are keeping humanity in check through the noise. If humanity can figure out the relics and can figure out how to get rid of the negative impact, if humanity essentially can make anybody into a Valkyrie, then they can rise up against their gods. That's what it's about. Yeah, humanity is constantly dependent on the custodians, but if they can find and fine-tune the technology to defeat the noise, they will be able to tear down their shackles, fight against the noise, fight against the custodians, and become the masters of their own fate. And that Lulu Amel is a confirmation of my theory that the Suicide Song and the beginning of the Henshin song is in Sumerian. Q-E fucking D. You know what? Text. Q-E-D. There we go. I figured it out. Okay. So now I know, like the overarching plot, because the overarching plot is the fight against the noise, but the overarching plot is the fight against custodians. We're going like full Trigger here. Trigger is known for their anime being essentially, we are fighting against monsters. And then, oh, it turns out there are aliens who sent those monsters here, and now we fight monsters in giant space mecha. Right? That's basically Trigger, that's basically whatever they were called before Trigger. Gurren Lagann, it was the same. Darling in the Franxx, it was all the same, right? It's doing something similar. Oh, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. And of course, Miku doesn't like the word secret. I don't think I can be your friend anymore. And now we're getting a bit of a Bollywood drama montage. Sorry for laughing, but not Bollywood drama montage. Is it Bollywood drama? Wait. Indian drama montage in general. No drama Indian Montreal Fortnite montage. Over dramatic Indian scenes. Yes. That's what I wanted to show you. That's what I wanted to show you. Uh, I'm terribly sorry to go on such a huge tangent here, but I have to. I have to. It it needs to be seen. It's like this. That's basically what's happening there. Sorry, I'll stop. No window capture. I know that it's like a super dramatic scene, but it the over dramatic Indian montage immediately came to my mind. Of course, after credits. Bit more English. Don't you need me anymore, Dommy Mommy? It's kind of like a butterfly on her neck, right? On her choker. Are those... No, I thought these were clothes, but they're just her fingernails. Kadingir. It clearly looks like Nehushtan, so I'm assuming she tries to fuse multiple relics together or modify multiple relics together. Kadingir. Kadingir, Symphogear Wiki. Kadingir Sanctum, Doom Wiki. Kadingir Literature. It was a series of fantasy novels. Kadingir on Wikipedia. Kadingir Sanctum. Kadingel, a distortion of the original Sumerian word pertaining to the penultimate dungeon in the 1996 video game Wild Arms. Kadingir is the Sumerian name for Babylon. Again with the Sumerian. So her new armor is called Babylon. Lost in Babylon, Babylon. I don't remember the words. What was the song? I'm gonna at least give you the title. Lost in Babylon. It is a song by... Okay, a lot of bands have a song named Lost in Babylon, apparently. But it was either Delane or Xandria. Either of the two. I don't remember anymore. Okay. That was episode 7. And what an episode it was. I feel like this is the kind of at the breaking point of this anime, or at least of this season. All episodes up until this point were maybe not quite villain of the week, but they were more... I'm gonna remove the text now. But they were more... how should I say it? More classic, like fitting the genre, fitting the tropes, more or less, right? There was some fighting against monsters, there was some interpersonal drama, there was some daily life, some slice of life, There was some drama, what you would expect. Episode 7 changes a lot of that. We now know that besides the noise, there's also something else. There are also the custodians. We now know that Hibiki doesn't just wield Gungnir. Gungnir is a part of her. That's another thing that changes from what we've learned so far. We also learn that Chris and, I'm assuming also Finney, want to end all conflict and end all war in more or less misguided way. We now learn that... What else do we learn? Well, Miku learns the truth about Hibiki, and she doesn't take that well. She, in my opinion, overreacts, but that's how she reacts. Everything changed. In the span of just a single episode, the relationship of Hibiki and Tsubasa changed. They are now teammates. The relationship of Hibiki and Miku changed. Miku is now much more cold and she doesn't want to be friends anymore. Our perception of who is the enemy changed. Our perception of one of the enemy groups changed. Our understanding of Symphogear changed. Our understanding of Hibiki's condition changed. I feel like this kind of closes the prologue. Not quite prologue, fully prologue, but the prologue-ish part. And now shit's gonna hit the fan. Now we're gonna rev it up a little, crank that dial up to 11, and that's what's gonna happen in future episodes. Man, oh man. That was a great episode. I really had a grand time with it. The confirmation of my theory that Symphogear have something to do with Sumer. Hey, I was on point. I knew that I recognized the general cadence and words used in the Suicide song and in the Henshin song. I knew I recognized them from, well, at least the cadence and how the words sound, from Siren of the Woods by Therion, and I wasn't mistaken. There we go. My theory confirmed. Now, is my theory about Domimomi and Ryoko being the same person gonna be confirmed? I feel like it's gonna be. Because both Ryoko and Finney are obsessed with Hibiki, and we were clearly shown that with the room, with Ryoko's lab being completely plastered with Hibiki's photos. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very, very, very interesting. One thing I know for sure, Chris is joining us, one way or another. Hibiki is definitely gonna talk her into that. They're probably gonna meet somewhere in the city. Hibiki is gonna be sulking, and she will want some okonomiyaki. Chris is gonna be sulking because she was rejected by her mommy, and she's gonna grab some okonomiyaki, and they're gonna meet up, and they're gonna have a nice heart-to-heart, and they're gonna come to an understanding of each other, and they're gonna be the bestest of friends, and they're gonna form a team. Now we're gonna have the blue, we're gonna have the yellow, and we're gonna have the red. All that's missing is Miku becoming the green. Although I heard that her hair in later seasons is actually black. It isn't supposed to be green, but right now it's green, so I'm assuming she's gonna become the Green Ranger. Or maybe she's gonna become the Black Ranger, or maybe she's gonna become the villain. I've thrown out that idea before, but now Miku is at her most vulnerable. It wouldn't surprise me if Finney tried to use Miku to get to Hibiki. Especially if Finney and Ryoko are really the same person, because Ryoko knows about Miku. She knows about the relationship, she knows about what Miku knows, she knows that she's the prime target. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Nothing more to be said, we're gonna have to wait and see. But if you're watching it on YouTube, you won't have to wait. You can subscribe to my Patreon, and episode 8 will already be out there. So if you want to watch that early, you can support me there. For just $10 a month, you get early access. I'm going out of order now with my shilling, because I want to shill the Patreon first. As always, leave a comment down below what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my reaction, what you think of my theories. Just don't confirm or reject any of them. You know, all the fun of creating all those crazy theories is not knowing if they're correct and waiting for them to be confirmed or not, or at least refining them as time goes on. I really, really enjoy it. So don't spoil my fun, please. Don't spoil the show. If you must use some spoilers, you can join my Discord server. There's a Symphogear channel there. You can go there, you can post spoilers, you can talk with your fellow gearheads. There's plenty of them in my server. Probably like half the users, if not more, are gearheads. So you will feel just like at home. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why, please, so I can know what I can improve. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of future releases, click the bell icon and all that. It's not only Symphogear that I'm releasing, but also yesterday I posted those Frontline. The day before it was Tokyo 24 Coup. Tomorrow I'm gonna be releasing Arifureta Season 2, and the day after it's Sabikui Bisco time, which is another series that I'm extremely hyped for, so I recommend watching that. If you don't like how unreliable subscription notifications are on YouTube, you can join my Discord server. Again, it's free and open to everybody, and there is a channel that will ping you whenever I release a new video, so that's cool. Anything else I need to share? Anything else I forgot? Subscribe, like, comment, Discord, share this video if you know someone who will enjoy it. If you know someone who finished watching Symphogear and wants to rewatch it, perhaps you could recommend me. Perhaps they want to perhaps they would like to rewatch it with someone else, and perhaps that someone else might be me. Right? I would be very grateful for that, because the more you guys spread the word about this channel, the more YouTube itself spreads the word about the channel, and the more it grows, the more views I get, the more inevitably the more Patreon money I get, and I might one day be able to upgrade my phone to a DSLR or something. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And this is yet another benefit from joining my Patreon. No matter the tier you join, you get to be on this list. And I forgot to mention that for just $1 a month, you get a role on my Discord server, and that role gives you access to a special Patreon-only channel.